When a child moves into a new environment, in this case with a grandparent, the rules change for both of them. So what does a grandparent do to ensure everyone gets along? Brenda Garrett joins us now. She's the founder of Positive Family Connections and has a unique perspective on the dynamics of families and grandfamilies. And there are a lot of them and a lot of changes that take place.
Yes, certainly. And thank you so much, Kathy, for inviting me. Kathy and I have worked together for quite a while doing parenting education.
Great.
And I'm certified in the curriculum called Positive Discipline, and it's by Dr. Jane Nelson and Lynn Lott. It's based on the teachings of Alfred Adler, who said that what we really all need at our core is to have a sense of belonging and significance. And so when we look at children that come into a new environment, we want to ask ourselves, how am I helping this child feel that sense of belonging? So how would you feel, Jan, how would you know that you really belonged in a family?
I think if people addressed me by my name, included me in their conversations, asked my opinion about things or how I felt about something, but basically made me feel like I belonged.
Yes. And so part of that is to feel that you belong no matter what, that it's unconditional acceptance, even when you make mistakes. So positive discipline is about being helpful, not hurtful. And then the second component of significance, it's very different from belonging. Kathy, how would you feel significant in a family that you moved into?
If they asked me what I wanted to do, if I felt like I could help with the chores, if I could help with cooking. Also, if somebody maybe gave me a hug once in a while, those little things.
Sure, yeah, and significance is like, how can I bring my gifts to help the family? How can I be part of it? But also wrapped up in that belonging and significance, you want to have a sense of connection, and Adler taught that we are hardwired at birth to connect. We need to do it for our very survival. But significance is also a part of being autonomous, being able to do what we want to do. And just like John talked about a few minutes ago, that we want to pay attention to what's going on in the brain. When you stop someone from doing what they want to do, that's when you get that adrenaline reaction. So when you say no, or when you command someone to do something, then the brain will have a reaction to it.
Okay.
And resist. So that's when you get power struggles.
Oh, well, yeah, we sure do. Now.
And then I think, Kathy, you were talking about how unique, children that come into a new home might be struggling to feel certain things.
They want to feel safe. They want to know if they're going to be sent back or if they're going to be accepted. They want to feel like they belong. They want to make sure that their needs are met. Some children, even because of the environment they're coming in from, afraid they're not going to have enough food, so they'll take food in their room. They just really need that sense of belonging and feeling safe.
Yes. Right. And then another part of positive discipline says that when children don't feel a sense of belonging and significance, that's when you get the acting out. And it usually takes the form of one of four behaviors. Either it's attention seeking, it can be just a power pull of I want to do what I want to do and you're trying to control me too much. I may seek revenge. I may think that the discipline has been unfair, or that someone else, a sibling or someone else in the home, has treated me badly, and so I may lash out at them. Or if I'm overcorrected or I never feel like I can do anything, I may just give up. I may just say, I just can't do this. And so when that happens, then the brain is going off and trying to regain that sense of belonging and significance. Wow. So like John talked about, kind of the hallmark of trauma is helplessness. If you are forced to do something and have no control, then the brain is going to experience that as fear and resist it. Well, think of how we discipline children. We sometimes do that by trying to control them, by trying to say, do this now. This is what you have to do. So the brain says, whoa, I don't know if I'm being traumatized or I'm just being controlled, but the brain resists. So positive discipline teaches people how to try a different way that invites cooperation. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just a different approach to getting people to work with you instead of resist you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, you have a game.
Well, it's not really a game. It's a demonstration.
Okay.
That this is one of those things that parents really, when they observe it, say that it can be very helpful.
Okay.
So we're just going to demonstrate the difference between two different approaches to parenting. And Jan, I'm going to ask you to just pretend that you're a child.
Okay.
And you can, at the end of this, Kathy and I are going to just exchange directives to you, and you don't have to do anything that we're asking you to do or react. But at the end, I want you to share how you were feeling and what you were thinking about it.
All right.
All right. I'm going to leave this off. So I'm going to direct this at you, Jan.
Okay.
So, Jan, I told you to do the dishes. Why are they still in the sink?
My turn. Jan, what was our agreement about the dishes?
I know you have homework, Jan. Don't try to get out of it.
Jan, what's your plan for doing your homework tonight? Do you need any help?
She's on to me. Okay.
You're not hanging out with that Kim girl again. You know I don't like her.
Are you still friends with Kim? Maybe I can meet her sometime.
Stop fighting with your little brother. You're twice his age.
You know I don't like listening to the two of you fight. Do you have any ideas on how you can work this out?
Okay.
So what was the difference?
The difference, I think, was felt defensive when you talked to me and were demanding me to respond, and you were telling me how I was behaving and that you didn't like it, and that made me feel bad. When you asked me the questions, you were inviting me in and getting me to do the talking and me to come up with the next steps. You were telling me what to do.
Right. It's just that asking versus
Is that right?
telling.
Okay.
Yeah, just that one. I mean, exactly. Now, would you, if I were to continue to come at you, making those demands and being critical, how often would you come to me, like, with your problems? If I was
Probably not real often, because I'd already had experienced the discomfort of having somebody tell me what to do anyway, so that's not helpful to me.
right.
I would be more inclined to go to her because she wants to listen.
Exactly. So making that connection is what positive discipline is really all about, and also trying to avoid the potential outcomes of punishment.
Yeah.
So positive discipline offers alternatives to punishment, so that you don't resist coming to your parent. That's the last thing you want to do, is to punish someone and make them feel disconnected in a way that they no longer want to come back and seek your input. So what we try to share in positive discipline is that if you will reduce your efforts to control someone, you will immediately improve your relationship. And then the result of that is increased influence. And isn't that what we really want?
It is. And that's what our children want, too, the sense of being safe and belonging.
And to feel like, you know, they have influence. So there's lots of positive discipline tools, asking curiosity questions like what we just described, giving choices, sitting down in advance and saying, like we said, what's your plan for doing homework? Well, that means I trust you to problem solve and come up with it. So these are discipline methods that are more effective long term, that teach you to be a problem solver, that teaches you to be calm and that you're in control, and that you also are respected and a part of our family.
It's just such basic stuff, but it really does remove the veil from your eyes when you see it that way. And it looks like we've kind of come full circle with John talking about the initial change or resistance and how we can better manage the responses, not from just from ourselves as well as from our grandchildren. We'll talk more in the future. We're out of time, believe it or not. But
thank you.
I know. Well, thank you very much, Kathy and Brenda, for being here and sharing
Thank you so much.
your expertise. That was really an interesting little experiment. And thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again next time. Bye.